Hi guys, welcome back. In this video I'm going to continue adding features and resources to my previous implementation that I posted in the previous videos. You can find the channel. Here I'm going to implement this virtual machine scale set as the backend of this Azure standard load balancer. I'm going to implement the web virtual machine scale set NSG using the dynamic block. You can browse for the dynamic block in the documentation, and this is going to help me to implement several network security rules for each of the VM, and I don't necessarily needed to write every single security rule. I just need to implement the dynamic block. I'm going to enable the feature of Autoscaling. This is a complex feature in the virtual machine scale set. This feature of Autoscaling has three different profiles. Each of these profiles will have a different priority. You will find in the code an example of one implementation per profile. So, the next thing that I'm going to show you is how you can configure the rule in the Azure portal. You can see here in the configuration of the rule that you can change the scale mode. Currently, Terraform only supports the scale based on metric. Here you can specify there are different rules to scale in or scale out. Similarly, you can do this in the Terraform. So let's go to the code. Finally, one important block that I want to show you is the Azure VM Monitor Autoscale setting. You need to implement this resource whenever you want to implement the autoscale feature in the Terraform configuration. Here you need to specify the target resource ID that I'm going to associate with this resource. So here in the files you will encounter with the previous file that I just created in the previous videos. For the here you can find the specification for the VNet, the subnet and NSG, the Bastion subnet, and the other resources that are part of this implementation. I'm just gonna focus on the C705 Web Linux VM Autoscaling default profile. This is the file that I'm going to put the specification for the default profile that I just showed you before. One of the three profiles. This is one of the three profiles. First, I'm going to show you the block Azure VM Monitor Autoscale setting that I talked to you about 1 minute ago. Here I'm going to associate the target resource ID with this resource block to specify the setting autoscaling for this resource. I'm going to specify the notification, and here I'm going to put the name of the profile. I'm going to specify the capacity, the minimum and maximum resource that I'm going to have, and here I'm going to start describing the rules. First I'm going to describe the increase rule, and then I'm going to describe the decrease rule. You can find here the threshold in which this rule is going to trigger. You can find here the result ID. Then I'm going to specify another rule, and here this rule is going to depend of the available memory in the RAM. This value is the number of bytes that 1 gigabyte has. So you just need to Google and put it there, and this rule is going to trigger when the threshold is met. This is for 2 gigabytes, and this is going to be the decrease rule type. So you can find here all you need to do to put this default profile in function. So I'm going to try it. I already put the init command to download the necessary provider plugins. I just need to put then the validate command to see if there are any errors in the configuration. So after fixing some errors, you can put the Terraform applying command and see what is the planned implementation that is going to happen. Let's see what are the resources that I'm going to implement. In the meanwhile, I can show you the other 5 that I'm going to specify the other profiles, the recurrence profile and the recurrence fix profiles. These files are commented, but you can uncomment and try it out to see what are those profile, how those profile function. You can see here that the specification changed a little. The rules are gonna be the same, but the specification are going to change. Let's see. For example, here I'm going to specify the days that the rules is going to occur. At the same, it's going to happen with the recurrent fixed profile. You can uncomment and try it out. I'm just trying here the default profile. So we are ready to go. You can see here all the resources that are going to be created. You can see if those resources met the specification that you configure, and after that you can put the Terraform apply. This is going to take a while, so let's wait. So here in the Azure portal you can find the resource group that will going to contain all the resources that I just specified in the Terraform files. You can find here the virtual machine ScaleSets, and you can see here all the specification that I just put into the Terraform file. You can see here the number of instances that is actually running. You can see here the scaling configuration that is set to custom autoscale, and you can find here all the rules that I just created as part of the Terraform file. So you can see here the threshold for the scale out, the rule for the available memory for 1 gigabyte and the 2 gigabyte for the scaling rule. I leave it to you for the testing for the other 2 profiles and the testing of the general virtual machine ScaleSet. So this is all for this video. I hope you see in the next. So bye bye.